Hello, this is Bob Gray Sr. Welcome to Ministry Moments. Every Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Central Time. Go to Ministry Moments YouTube, Bob Gray Sr., and then you can watch it at your own convenience. So today, I want to talk to you about restoration. Restoration. So get a pen out, jot some things down. 65 points, 35 subpoints, 3 jokes, and 2 tear-jerking illustrations. But restoration. Uh, when you win people to Christ, you get people saved, they're fallen. You get them down the aisle, you get them baptized, and put them in a Sunday school class, and they hit and they miss, and they struggle and so on, and then you help them to grow. But sooner or later, guess what's going to happen, boys and girls? They're going to fall a second time or fall a third time. And if you were concerned, if, Galatians 6:1, you which are spiritual, restore such an one. You were concerned enough to keep them from winning them and keep them from going to hell, and you should, and thank God for that. But you also ought to be willing to not only salvage their soul, but salvage their life. And so that's the work. And I'm a little leery of people who say they're soul winners, but are not restorers, because to do one means you have to do the other. The only hope they've got is somebody spiritual enough to go and say, okay, this is not the end of the world. Let me help you get back up on your feet. Oh, you may not be able to pastor, but you win souls and teach Sunday school and be a great asset to the local church. You may not be able to do what you once could have done, but you can still do something for God. I think some of the people are going to walk away with all the awards at the judgment seat of Christ are the people we don't even know. The laymen, the ushers, the bus drivers, the Sunday school teachers, the secretaries, the altar workers and the baptistry workers and all of that, people who've been faithful, 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 faithful. God bless them. But everybody, sooner or later, is going to trip and fall. So we're going to dive into it. But we got to be there to restore and help them get back up on their feet. So we're talking about restoration. Number one, have a prodigal prayer list. Talking about having restoration ministry. Have a prodigal prayer list. You'll have people. Still have a list in front of me. I'm not pastoring now, but I have people that I loved and people I cared for, and I tried to be the best I could for them. But they fell and it caused a lot of trouble in their lives, and not for me, but they just wrecked the whole world. Well, I have a prodigal prayer list. And I pray every day for those people on that prayer. I pray for them to get back up. Just man falls 7 times. He rise again. You got to get him back up again. Got to get him back up. Fall one, rise one. Fall two, rise two, and just keep it going. All right. Number two, be there for them when tragedy hits. Be there for them when tragedy hits. Now there'll be everybody has to put a face on something goes wrong. Got to put a face on it. Maybe the preacher's face, youth director's face, but there's just something about us. We can't blame ourselves. So we don't look at ourselves. We got to blame somebody. Tragedy is going to hit. And when these people do that, then you want to be there when tragedy hit. They may not want your help, but you be there. They will remember that. They may not call you, but you can call them. Now, it's important for you to understand that tragedy, they're going to remember whether you were there for them or not. Oh, they may not want to answer the door, may not want to answer the phone. They may shut the door in your face. Doesn't matter. You be sure that you're there for them. Minister to them. All right. We're talking about restoration. Number one, have a prodigal prayer list. Number two, be there for them when tragedy hits. Number three, do not chase them. Don't chase them. The prodigal dad did not chase his prodigal son, didn't chase him. Don't chase him. The pastor goes out and says, oh, we've missed you. Uh, what do I have to do to get you back? Do you realize what that pastor's saying? Everything's on the line. My Bible's, King James Bible's on the line. Standards are on the line. Soul winning's on the line. Don't do that. Don't do that. So, number one, have a prodigal prayer list. Number two, be there for them when tragedy hits, because it's going to hit. The way of a transgressor is hard. Number three, do not chase them. Number four, keep the ministry the same. Sunday school the same. Sunday morning, Sunday night. I never changed. Super Bowl, hey, you better come to church. That's where our Super Bowl is. You're not changing it. I don't care if the Cowboys finally get into it. We're not going to change, not going to do it. So, New Year's week, okay, church still the same. Christmas falling on Sunday, church still the same. I tell them people still dying and going to hell at Christmas time or New Year's time or Memorial time or 4th of July weekend or Labor Day weekend, just like they were any other weekend. Buses are going to roll. Bus drivers, we need you here. Sunday school teachers, we need you here. If you're going to take time off, take it off at another time, but don't take it off at the time when we're hurting. Don't do that. Talking about restoration now. Number one, have a prodigal prayer list. Number two, be there for them when tragedy hits. Number three, do not chase them. Number four, keep the ministry the same. The prodigal kept prodigal's dad kept the farm strong. The hogs were there. Everything was taken care of. And the sheep were there. Had to work that hogs in. And they're all there. And he's keeping the farm healthy. He wasn't gallivanting all over the country chasing his son from pig pen to pig pen. No, he kept the farm going. Kept it going. So the prodigal had something to come back to. Number one, talking about restoration now. Number one, have a prodigal prayer list. Number two, be there for them when tragedy hits. Number three, do not chase them. Number four, keep the ministry the same. Number five, keep the ministry strong. Keep the ministry strong so they'll have a strong ministry to come back to. Keep the ministry strong so there will be a strong ministry for them to come back to. Keep the ministry strong. Soul winning, not shutting it down. Oh, I remember I was in Chicago preaching with Brother Hiles, and it was a blizzard, ice storm. We were more worried about ice than we were anything in Texas, East Texas, but an ice storm hit. And the mayor called me and said, Pastor, would you please get on the local radio station and tell your people to stay home? Utility poles are down, lines are down, ice everywhere. And I said, why are you calling me, Mayor? He said, well, because you'll be the only church that'll stay open no matter what happens when you do that. And I did. I called the local radio station. We announced we were having church. The only time in all 30 years we didn't have church. Poor Mayor. Restoration. Have a prodigal prayer list. Number two, be there for them when tragedy hits. Number three, do not chase them. Number four, keep the ministry the same. Number five, keep the ministry strong so when they come back to a strong ministry. Number six, write a warm letter of gratitude. Write a warm letter of gratitude. When they fall out, let it be known. I ain't going back, no one will do with you, church or nothing. Send a nice warm letter of gratitude and thank them, tell them how much you enjoyed them, being with them and pastoring them. Do that. Try that. Maybe that might soften that hellfire damnation. Maybe. Restoration now we're talking about. Number one, have a prodigal prayer list. Number two, be there for them when tragedy hits. Number three, do not chase them. Number four, keep the ministry the same. Number five, keep the ministry strong so they can come back to a strong ministry. Number six, write a warm letter of gratitude. All right. Number seven, they were fallen when you first found them. So when they fall a second time, be there like you were the first time. They fall 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. You be there for them. You go by and let them know you love them. Oh, they may not want to see you. They may cuss you, may curse you. But that's all right. You were there the first time. Apparently you loved them. Apparently you cared. Well, let them know. I don't care how many times you fall. I'm going to be there for you. You can count on this pastor being there for you. All right. So restoration, talk about restoration now. Number one, have a prodigal prayer list. Number two, be there for them when the tragedy hits. Number three, do not chase them. Number four, keep the ministry the same. Number five, don't change, quit changing this, change that, change that. You preachers go to a meeting, come home, change everything. Go to another conference, come back, change everything. Go to another conference, come back and change everything. And your poor people are sitting there saying, who are we this week? Security comes from stability. Provide stability and you'll automatically have security. Number six, write a warm letter of gratitude. Number seven, they were fallen the first time and you were there. Be there for them the second, third, fourth, whatever it might take. Number eight, I remember one time we run a lot of buses and so on. And one of the bus kids that rode the bus, their daddy, drunken spree, and we finally got him saved, got him in church, but he was lost as a goose in a hailstorm, whatever that means. And so he was in jail, drunk tank. And they were in there and they're all changing stories about their raucous life, And so this one guy to this dad who had kids that rode our buses said, I went over to LBT and I drained their gas tanks for my car. And this bus kid, unsaved now, he's unsaved, got up and said, you did what? Yeah, I stole gas from those buses over at that church. And he decked the guy right there, had a big fight in the drunk tank. They come in there and ask him what he was fighting over. They're fighting over stealing gas in a church bus, Sunday school bus. I thought it was funny. We're going to get you one way or the other. But anyway, number one, have a prodigal prayer list. Number two, be there for them when tragedy hits. Number three, do not chase them. Number four, keep the ministry the same. Number five, keep the ministry strong so they come back to a strong ministry. Six, write a warm letter of gratitude when they fall. Soften their blow, what they've done, by letting them know that you love them and appreciate them and the time together that you had. Number seven, they were falling the first time you found them, so don't be surprised they fall again and go back and find them again. Number eight, weave restoration into Sunday school lessons, sermons, Wednesday night Bible study. Weave restoration in. Number nine, teach folks to love the sinner while hating the sin. I know something. Mahatma Gandhi said, I don't give a flip what Mahatma Gandhi said. It's still true. You love the sinner, hate the sin. Preacher, preach against sin, drunkenness, dope, and just preach on it. Let him preach on it. Amen him while he's preaching on it. But love the sinner. Go out of your way to love the sinner. Number 10, slowly help them to recover. When somebody comes back, slowly get them back into spiritual shape. Don't put them right back in a Sunday school class teaching. Don't put them right back in the choir. You work with them, diligently work with them, slowly work with them, and help them to recover. Help them to get their spiritual feet back, the spiritual sense back. Very, very important. Then last point, restoring people should lead you, the Bible says, consider thyself, Galatians 6:1-2. What does that mean? But don't think that you're better than they are. Don't you think for a second it can't happen to you. I've seen it happen to the best. You be careful, your judgmental attitude. And in those verses, considering. You stop and consider, that could be me, but by the grace of God. You may be living high for Christ now, but you could stumble and fall tomorrow. And you be very, very careful. Oh, it's easy to point your finger at others, but you got four pointing right back at you. We're talking about restoration. I hope it helped you. God bless you. Ministry Moments every Friday, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Let me get that straight today. 3 o'clock Central time. You join us. Ministry Moments, YouTube, Bob Gray Sr. Get it in your favorite podcast provider. Solve Church Problems. You can go there and subscribe. God bless you. Have a great weekend. Win as many people as you can to Christ. Let's have a great weekend. God bless you.